we're going to show you 4 good reasons to use a dash cam like this Vantrue X2 Dash Cam. Next on Now You Know. So I didn't grow up with dash cams. My first introduction to them was watching videos of Russian car accidents caught on dash cams a few years ago. We just got this Vantrue On-Dash X2 a couple weeks ago, and I'm starting to see why people use them. So we thought we'd show you some of its features and why we now use it. The X2 comes with a thank you card, which is also the quick start guide, so don't just throw that away because it's actually useful to teach you the buttons. A manual with color illustrations, which isn't bad as far as most manuals go. The X2 camera, a windshield suction mount with USB port, a long USB power cable that plugs into your cigarette lighter to power the unit, and we should mention it has a secret USB outlet here, which is a nice touch. And the windshield mount with a USB port so that you can power the camera through the mount, which helps get the cord up and out of the way. I also want to mention that you can buy a windshield mount from Vantrue with GPS built in so that you can get additional features like the ability to record GPS and speed data to your videos. So first, some specs. The X2 is a 2K 2560 by 1440 at 30 frames per second resolution f1.8 full 6-glass lens with a 2.7-inch LCD screen. It uses the newest Ambarella A12 CPU. It also offers 1920 by 1080 60 frames per second, which is basically twice the frames per second at a lower resolution. It supports quick snapshot at 16 megapixels to capture license plates and collision damage in an even higher resolution. It also touts having night vision, and we'll show more of that later. Also, with HDR, it automatically adjusts exposure so that bright sun or dark tunnels don't ruin your shots. It also offers auto start and on-spot playback, parking mode, and emergency mode, which we'll cover as well. The X2 comes with an 18-month warranty. The layout is nice, and the camera looks sleek and it feels good. This is the slot where the micro SD card goes. It supports sizes up to 64 gigabytes, and you should use a class 10 or higher card because you need fast transfer speeds. We'll put a link in the show notes below to a recommended micro SD card. This does not come with one, so just note that. This on the bottom is the HDMI port, so you can monitor to a TV or a monitor. This button on the top starts and stops the recording and confirms the setup in the menu, and it pauses the video in playback mode. This is the enter-exit menu button, and this is the power on-off. You press and hold it for 3 seconds. It also turns on and off the 4 infrared lights on the front with a short press during recording. We'll cover that later. This is the snapshot button, which will take a snapshot while recording, and we were not able to get that to happen actually. So in the manual, it seems like it's saying that you can take a snapshot while you're recording. We had to stop the recording and then take a snapshot. We tried a bunch of different things. We couldn't get it to happen. I'm not saying definitively that there is no way to do it, but we were not able to figure out how to do it. So I think that's kind of a minus, because if you're in an accident or something, you're probably going to want to take a quick snapshot while you're recording, and it's not going to allow you to do that. It's also the button to delete the files in the playback mode. And these are the 2 previous next buttons in the setup mode and the fast forward rewind buttons in the playback mode. This up button here also turns on and off the mic in recording mode, and this down button locks up the emergency video, and a 3-second press switches the camera into parking mode. So that's just to say you can see why you might want to hang on to that quick start guide, at least until you become familiar with the camera, because it took us a little while to get familiar with all the buttons, because keep in mind, most of the times when you're using the buttons, you're driving the car, so you can't just look at it and think about it. Alright, so let's go through the menus real quick so you can get a sense of it. You push this button here to get into the menu settings, and we've got the record setup, so resolution, loop recording, parking monitor, the G sensor set, you can set that to low, medium, high, turn on and off the mic, and then the stamp is to put on and off whether or not you want some words in the lower left corner of the screen. This is the file, so you can delete and stuff there, GPS setup, and then the system setup. Things like language, time setup, car number set, so you can say like which car you're driving. You can turn off the LCD screen after a certain number of minutes, power off delay, non-use auto power off, the key sounds, the flicker frequency, TV standard, the format, the default setting, the firmware version, and so forth. Okay, so at the start of the show, we said we'd show you 4 good reasons to use a dash cam, and here they are in no particular order. Recording a crime scene, recording a crash, or even recording a meteorite. So the beauty of a dash cam is that it's always there and it's always recording, so that when something happens in front of your car, you captured it. Because let's face it, you're not going to have time to pull out your smartphone and start recording, and that wouldn't be safe anyway. In the lower right corner, you can see some text. That is something that you can turn on and off and also edit in the menu. For instance, you may want to turn off the text if you're using the camera just to capture some fun video. But if you're using it to capture accidents, you probably want it on with the correct date and time and maybe the name of the vehicle you're driving. The image is really nice. I'm a fan of the HDR automatic exposure adjustment. The colors look really good. Now, what if we needed to zoom in to get a license plate for an accident? Here we are in the daylight, and here we are with some weird shadowing going on. And here is a night drive. The X2 really does a good job of recording at night. You can see that even though there is a bit of fuzziness, the detail is still relatively sharp. I should mention that we edited and uploaded this footage in 1440 so that you can view it on YouTube in higher resolution if you want to see what we're seeing. And when you're using it on a day-to-day basis, you'll most likely want it to be in looping mode. That is, it will record up to 5 minutes of footage, save that file, and start recording another. Now, unless 2 things happen, either you push the emergency lock button or the G sensor detects an impact, it will eventually record over that footage to save space on the card. So what's nice about this is that you're driving along, all you really care about is recording an accident or some big event. You don't need to record hours and hours of footage. If this looping wasn't there, you would have to manually go in and delete all those files and start again. But with looping on, you don't even have to think about it. Those files that you don't need will be erased over, and the files that you do want will be saved. All right, so we're about to get out of the car. We're going to put the X2 into parking mode. To do that, you push this little button here for 3 seconds. And a P appears right here, which means that we're in parking mode. And now we can get out, enjoy, and see if anything bad happens. Our X2 should capture it. Okay, so reason number 2 that you might want a dash cam is when you're parking the vehicle. You pull in at a restaurant or a store, you get out and leave your car, and you want your dash cam to record anyone who tries to do anything funny. You must press and hold the parking mode button for 3 seconds, and a P will appear on the screen. The X2 will now sense anyone within 30 feet and turn on automatically and record either a time-lapse or a full video of what's going on for 30 seconds. Now, the camera has a small 130 milliamp hour rechargeable lithium-ion battery, but even the manual states that it will probably not last long in parking mode, so unless there's power coming from your cigarette lighter that stays on after your car is turned off, and in our case, the power in the Model X shuts off when the car is off. So you'll want to power the unit from some other source, like a backup battery. So reason number 3 is during traffic stops. You can easily turn your X2 to face the driver's side. Make sure to get yourself in the shot because you want to capture the whole event. Did I do something wrong, officer?
Hello, sir. Yeah, you are illegally parked right now. I'm going to have to ask you to step out of the vehicle.
I'm illegally parked? I pulled over because you pulled me over.
Listen, sir, you're wearing an orange shirt. Excuse me, sir. Your car was being a little too silent.
Too silent?
Listen, I don't know when your car was coming by. It was really hard for me to pull you over because I could barely tell that you were going by.
It's an electric car.
Listen, if you hit a little ma'am walking by the street,
yeah,
you drove by and she didn't hear you coming, she's walking across the street, say she's got a little bag of groceries, and she's walking, and she doesn't hear anything, and BAM!
What did I do wrong?
Well, you see, this is my car.
It's not your car.
You see, sir, I parked this here about a minute ago.
No, you didn't.
I have a gun. I'm gonna need you to step out of the car, sir.
What? You do know that we're capturing all this.
Your eyes.
We're capturing all this on a dash cam. You know that, sir, don't you?
What is a dash cam? Listen, sir, I don't want you to have any trouble, so please just take this money. Let's forget about this situation.
What?
Please, have a good day, sir.
I'm recording the whole thing.
It's a joke, everyone. It's a joke. Ha ha! Hilarious. Listen, man, I just need to ride home. I'm sorry. I don't know where this came from. I just woke up like this.
Reason number 4 is the dreaded accident. If you're in an accident and have the X2 recording, if the G sensor registers the impact, it will automatically lock the footage so that it won't be erased. Or you can push the emergency button, which will do the same thing. Then you can grab the camera and start taking video or still photos of the accident scene for your records. So earlier we mentioned these 4 infrared lights that you can turn on. I wasn't quite sure what they were for or what the range was like, so we're going to do a test to test them. Here's the footage with the IR off. And here it is with them on.
I can see you a little bit. You're really ghost looking, but... And then with it off, I don't see you as much.
So, I mean, I guess the only useful part of this would be if at night, if you were trying to film something that was like a police officer coming right up to your window. I don't know.
Maybe in a crash scenario, if you're looking at some details of the car, like I can see my shoes with the IR lights,
And then with them off.
with it off.
It's completely black. So, I mean, I guess it's good for close-up stuff, but as soon as you back off a little bit, you can't see anything. So overall, we're really impressed with the Vantrue X2 Dash Cam. I feel really good having it in the car now because it's there in case there's accidents to record. It costs about $150. We'll give you some links below where you can find it on Amazon and Newegg. It takes a really good shot. The pictures look really good, and when you're driving around, you just know that if something comes... Oh my God, you're not going to believe this. There's like a Bigfoot right outside. Oh my God, I got to record. You're not going to believe. You're not going to believe. Oh my.
Me love my new dash cam. Mrs. Sasquatch's gonna love my new dash cam. What do I do now? Barry? Barry. Now you know.
Excuse me, sir. Did I do something wrong?
Sir, you hit a walker.
I hit a what?
You need to know how to survive. You can't hit walkers here.
What?
Sir,
A walker?
You're driving down.
Are we talking about The Walking Dead?
Walkers, they need sound. They need to hear. Your car was too silent. You hit a walker.
Zombies need to... Aren't we against zombies?
Listen, sir.
Aren't zombies the bad guys?
I had a plan to get rid of that walker. And if you don't know how to survive...
Is your name Officer Rick?
Carl! Lori!
What was that? Yeah, I think that's it.
I think that's
Cool.
awesome.
Another one? No. Alright, how do you stop recording?
Alright, it's probably cut.